No. I'm fine. But I'm still being monitored today. Yes. I never really had any heart problems. Well, I guess, how old was I? 43. Yeah, I was 43. When all of a sudden, I started having heart problems. So I went to the hospital. But there was nothing wrong with me yet. I was fine. They checked everything. They checked my blood pressure. But everything came out clear. I was okay. So they said, okay, we're going to send you home. But the second time, boy, was my children freaking out. I was having similar heart problems. They came in all of a sudden, and my children were running and screaming. We were driving to the hospital, running through red lights. We didn't want the cops to stop us, so we got a white handkerchief. We were flying it out the window, letting them know that we were going to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, did all the tests, and again, they said, you're fine. They sent me home. Oh, the second time I should mention, I was at a restaurant. I was eating. My heart started to hurt all of a sudden. It was painful. My chest was tightening. And I couldn't eat. I started to drink some water. And my symptoms started to lessen and feel better. But then it came on again, and they got worse. And this waiter came up to me, and he said, what's wrong? You need to leave. You can't stay here. And I said, my chest hurts. And I said, get away. My son's a good interpreter, and he was talking to this waiter, man. And he said, this waiter said, you need to go. You need to go to the hospital. You need to get checked out. But I just remember I was in a lot of pain. I said, I want to stay here. But my chest, it hurt so much. It's painful. I kept drinking water. But I went to the hospital because the pain just hurt so much. They drive me there. We went fast to the hospital. They checked me out again. Nothing. There was nothing wrong. And I was shocked. The third time, I was mowing my lawn. All of a sudden, again, I had this heart pain. And I just remember being like, wow, this hurts. I was like, I don't know if this is heartburn or if this is like really a heart attack. And so I decided I needed medicine. What kind of medicine was it that I took? Oh, what was it? It was heartburn medicine. I think it was for my stomach, I think. Not really sure, it doesn't matter. But I was driving and I was in a lot of pain. We were going to Kmart. We were driving, it was like 3 miles from my house. So it was pretty close. But we got to Walmart and I felt worse. My heart was so weak, I just feel like I couldn't move. So I told my wife, you need to go in. She was walking and she would look back at me. She goes, I can't leave you. Not when you're in that much pain, with your heart like that. Yes. I understand. It was okay. It was early. And you were worried, and you didn't want to leave me. So you decided to come back, and across the street was a California hamburger. So you said, I'm going to go call 911. So you go to this man, and he goes, why are we calling 911? Why can't you call 911? I don't see anything going wrong. There's nothing's around. Why would we call 911? But my wife said, my husband, he's over there. He's in a lot of pain. He's on the floor, rolling around. He's right over there. The man says, forget it. I don't see anything. And my wife, she felt so helpless. She couldn't do anything. And meanwhile, I'm in pain. I'm getting worse. And then this huge car, I think it was a Cadillac. Yeah, Cadillac. This big Cadillac drives up. It's like a 66 or 64. This big Cadillac. And this trunk was barely holding on by a thread. The trunk was popping up, and he's still driving. I didn't see the car, but my wife saw it. And he rolled up. He said, "Do you need any help?" My wife's like, "Yes, we need help, please." And he points to me and he says, "Has he been drinking?" Because at that point I had been vomiting. And he was pointing at me saying, "Yeah, you've been drinking." He's taunting me. And I was like, "No, I have not. I haven't been drinking. No, and I haven't drinking at all." And he's laughing. And I'm like, "Okay." And it hurts so bad. And he's looking at me and he's like, "Oh," and the wife's like, "Why can't he communicate with me?" And I was like, "Oh, he's deaf." And he asked again, "You drinking?" I said, No, not at all." So he decides to lay me down flat on the ground. But I'm like, "No, I don't want to. I refuse." And then he's like, he goes to my wife and he says, "Tell him he needs to lay down." My wife says, "Please lay down." So finally I decide to lay down. She gets my coat